Well, hello. My name is Rob Knowlton. I am the owner of Hidden Screams Haunted Attraction. We are going to start doing a YouTube channel talking about the behind the scenes of what we do. We get a lot of questions, a lot of them are the same. So I figured it'd be a lot easier if we put out exactly what is we do and how we got to where we got to and where we're looking to go. So, without any further ado, um, let's get started with where this all came from. So many of you have asked in the past what led me or us to even have an attraction. Um, I've always liked Halloween. I've always liked to get dressed up and have fun. And I'm very creative in the fact that I like to write and think of storylines and characters and things like that. So that's always come fairly natural to me, more natural than some other things. But in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, I had extended family who had a haunted attraction. It was called Rudy's Haunted Hayride in Shermansdale, Pennsylvania, which is in Perry County. And they had it for, I want to say, about 11, 12 years. And it was awesome. A hayride, which evolved to getting an arcade eventually, which then evolved to a haunted house, and then a zombie paintball area kind of thing on the property. And it took off. It did really well. It was just awesome. I loved it. Loved being there. As a kid, I spent my time in what we called the Candy Shack, which was at the end of the hayride. So they go down these long set of staircase to get to the hayride, to the different wagons. And after about 35, 40, 45 minutes of being on the hayride, they would then come back where they began and go up a hill. And around the hill, as they came up the hill, they would leave by way of the Candy Shack. And so me and other members of the family would give out candy to everybody, adults, kids alike, after going on the hayride. Did that for years. Really loved it. It was just nice being out there. Eventually, like I said, a haunted house was created, and that was really amazing. And then they did have an arcade on site for those who wanted to, play some games and do stuff. And then they eventually had that, like I said, the zombie or monster paintball. And there would be like a boxed in area. I can't remember the footage of it. It might have been 20 by 20 maybe. And they would have like gravestones and stuff like that. And you'd have to, hit the monsters, the zombies. And it was a lot of fun. Everybody loved it. And like I said, it was busy all the time. Off-season work was so neat. We would go ahead and get catalogs all the time. We'd spend time in the office looking for new costumes, props, masks, makeup, everything that you could think of. And then we build new sets and scenes and stuff like that throughout the year. Excuse me. You have to remember that having a haunted attraction is not just where you come in October and we turn the lights on. That I think a lot of people just think we turn the lights on and boom, everything's just up and running. There's a lot more to it, which as we go through a lot of these episodes that we're going to start talking about, you'll see just how much work and effort it does take us to open this attraction. And so hopefully you'll appreciate that and understand like what we do, because once again, I want people to understand like what it's like to operate and be a part of a haunted attraction. A lot of people just don't have the knowledge because they're not in it. They're not an actor. They don't own it. They're not in management. They just come out and as a customer and see it. So you're seeing the finished project after a year's worth of time that we're all putting in to give you an amazing show for what, 8, 10, 12, 16 nights, whatever the amount of nights are that each haunted attraction out there is open. But like I said, a lot of people just don't know what kind of work and effort we truly put into our shows. And that's, once again, not just speaking Hidden Screams wise, but also haunted attractions all around the country. No haunted attraction, and you'll probably hear me repeat this, no haunted attraction opens their doors with the thought of trying to be bad. You know, we do have times where reviewers come, or even customers, just, you know, who are your regular customers, and they'll leave reviews and talk about us. And, you know, everybody gets their fair share of positive and negatives. And obviously, we're truly grateful for those who have come and enjoyed the experience. But you have to remember, we're going to have off nights. Yeah, there's going to be times where actors don't show, um, actors get sick, things happen in the middle of the show. You know, we've had people chicken out in the middle, so then we got to reroute people. We've had people pee themselves, so then, you know, that's another issue. We've had people that have panic attacks, so then we got to handle that. So I mean, there's a lot of things that happen that customers are just not aware of, that can change the dynamics of any show we have in an instant. And we've got to juggle that and be prepared for that every night we're open. And so, like I said, that's why it's hard for customers when they have a bad experience to understand maybe the positive and try to look for the positive of the night. And I get it. You're paying 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, $50, depending on what attraction you're visiting. And so that makes a big difference. I mean, you're paying a lot of money. You obviously want to get every dollar's worth that you can. And once again, as owners, we understand that, and we're doing our best to provide you with that kind of a show. But like I said, I think a lot of customers they just don't know. They're not educated, and there's not a lot of these videos out there that sort of sit down and provide the realism behind owning, operating, being a part of a haunted attraction. And that's what we're sort of hoping to provide with these videos, is to help the public to understand like what is that we go through, what we're trying to do, what we're trying to bring to our own community and to our customers. So that way you have an idea of, you know, what we're trying to provide you. We want you to have an amazing opportunity, amazing time, amazing show. We want to give you the best show possible. And we do our best every night. But like I said, there are things that happen beyond our control, which as we go through the videos, we'll explain. So as we go through different videos, you'll see that and hear that more. And hopefully that'll help you to maybe understand things better, appreciate more. So that way, if you do have a bad night or one off night, maybe you'll give us a second opportunity to try again. Because once again, we've had off nights, and then the next night we do great, or we do great and then we have an off night next. Excuse me. Or we'll have 3 or 4 amazing nights and then one off night. So, you know, you're bound to have an off night here and there, especially the more nights you're open, you're just opening yourself up for more opportunities for bad nights. You know, it's easy to assume, well, you're only open for 10, 12 nights. Why can't every night be great? Well, we have to rely on people, actors. Obviously, we don't use a whole lot of animatronics because we believe in our actors. We want actors to give you the experience, and you're only going to get that with actors. Animatronics really should only be used for the purpose of distraction. And there's different ways, and we'll talk about in other videos as far as how we distract and stuff like that. But it's just one of those things where we should use them as distractions, not as necessarily for a scare. Now, I'm not saying they're not going to scare you, because that's what we're hoping for too, but it should take you away from the actual scares, which our actors are providing, either before, after, or near that animatronic. So once again, keep that in mind, that, you know, we're trying to provide you with an amazing show. We're using different kind of opportunities between our actors and our props and animatronics to do that. But once again, when you rely on human beings to do that, you're gonna have times where people just either are a no-show, or they'll call in at the last minute and say, I can't make it. So then you're scrambling, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes before a show to replace an actor, and it's not that easy. You know, every actor has a place in our haunt. No matter if they're primary or secondary, they have a spot that they need to fulfill. And especially being, for us right now, a smaller haunted attraction, we can't go without somebody in that area. So we have to then shift people around so we don't look like we have a huge hole somewhere. And that's just another dynamic. And we've even had actors in the middle of a show just up and leave, whether it's because they got sick or they got tired or just whatever. You never know what's going to happen. And so, like I said, those are the dynamics that make things quite interesting. when it comes to providing our customers with the best show. So, like I said, our goal is obviously to give you an amazing show when you come, and that's what we try to do every time. And that's why, like I said, we're creating these videos so you can understand at least some of the dynamics. I mean, obviously, we're not going to share every little secret or every little thing we do, because obviously we want you to have a great experience. And if we give it all to you, then you're gonna be like, what's the point of even coming? But nonetheless, like I said, we do want to share things with you because we want you to know, what it's like. We want you to understand what we go through, so you can understand what we have to deal with on a nightly basis and how we overcome that, because we do. It's not easy, but we do overcome it. And like I said, we attribute that to, at least my attraction, I attribute that to my management. They're awesome. I attribute that to our actors. They're great too. And I feel very lucky and blessed because many haunted attractions around the country suffer every year from having good actors and staff. It's like they just can't keep a lot of their people. Usually a lot of places tell me over 65 to 75% of their staff are new every year. Now, I'm not saying that's everywhere. Some places do well like us, where we may add a handful of people every year with change out. But mostly we keep here at Hidden Screams, we keep the majority of our staff and actors, which, like I said, I feel very lucky and blessed at the same time, because we don't have that turnaround that many do. Now, obviously, the bigger you get, the more turnaround you're probably going to have. We usually have anywhere from 30 to 50 staff on hand. That's not all actors. That is between security, safety, once again, front end, back end people, people within the haunt that help to manage, as well as our actors. So we usually have a good bit of people, and then obviously the customers who come through the door add to that number inside. But like I said, nonetheless, we do everything we can to make sure we provide you with a great and safe show. We have to do a lot of things to prepare for that, once again, ahead of time. Like I mentioned, when we close down, usually the beginning of November, around that time, end of October, beginning of November, we begin preparing, at that point for the next year. Now, we at Hidden Screams do off-season events as well. We are my first year in Lewistown, which was 3 years ago. We've been operating for a total of 5 years, but 3 of them have been in Lewistown, 2 years in Reedsville, Pennsylvania. But my first year in Lewistown, we did a March show, Curse the Leprechaun, which we still do today. And we do our Halfway to Halloween show, which once again is usually around May. We do that as well. We added 2 new shows after this last season. We started one in Christmas time. We do, it's called Silent Fright. This next one that's coming up in December of 2025 will be called Silent Fright Jack Frost Revenge. We'll talk about those shows further down the road. And then there is Hidden Hearts Revenge, which was, this past one was a murder mystery. In 2026, it'll be a Dead by Daylight kind of thing, which we'll talk about once again in the future. But they're all usually interactive. They have a purpose, so it's not just a simple scare kind of thing. You usually have to do something, because I feel like in the off-season events, we need to make it more unique, so you come out for all of them versus just saying, oh, I've already been out there, I don't need to go 4 more times in a year. We want you to come out to each one because they're all unique and different. So like I said, we definitely try to be more unique in what we provide with our off-season events. And then each year, our main show, which happens in October, we do make that very unique as we change the show every year, whether that's the layout or the floor plan, costumes, characters, what have you. Storyline as well changes. I'm a big storyline guy, which, like I said, down the road in another video, I'll talk to you about storyline and why that matters, because there's different schools of thought when it comes to organizing a haunted attraction. Some people will just do what I call organized chaos, which is you'll have one attraction that might be Western themed. You might have another one that might be manor themed, spooky manor themed. You might have another one that is cornfield themed, so on and so forth. And then you have people like myself and many others who try to go by a storyline. That's where, like I said, my creative juices flow. I'm able to really just create the storylines, the characters, think up the costumes and everything like that, and then my managers and actors bring it all to life. So that's what I love to do and what I enjoy, and you know, it's the process of putting it all together at the end, so that way when we have a show, especially like I said, our October show, one that does come to pass, we can give you a show that you're just like clamoring for, and you want to come back and see again and again and again. We have some amazing customers who I call our lifers. They are constantly you know, coming out and seeing us in our off-season events, as well as, coming sometimes multiple times in a season in October, 2-3 times, because they're like, hey, I'm gonna bring my friends next time, and then those friends say, I'm gonna bring my friends, and so on and so forth. So we're very grateful for all our customers and their desire to come out and see us and believe in us. Like I said, we've been growing every year, doing better. But just as I mentioned before, you're going to have good nights and bad nights. And that's, like I said, what this series is meant to do, is just to provide some insight into really what the life of a haunted attraction is like. So, like I said, hopefully you learn something from it, and it helps you to appreciate the show and understand what we go through as what we call haunters, and the effort we put in to give you an amazing show, amazing scenes, sets, and everything of the such. So anyway, like I said, this first video isn't meant to be long. I don't want it to be boring, but I did want to give you at least an understanding of where we came from. Once again, like I said, you know, I've been in the industry, the haunted attraction industry, for at least 20-25 years, in some way, shape, or form, some capacity. I used to consult for haunted attractions and review them as well, in between the stints of the attractions, excuse me, until I owned one again myself here, starting back in 2019. So like I said, it's really been great. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad to be back on the owner's side. I missed it. I wanted to be back on this side for a very long time, and finally just took the leap. I started in 2019 as a home haunt for a couple of years. Eventually we outgrew our backyard, and my loving wife, pretty much made clear we needed our backyard back, because I would have to start building usually, months in advance to have it ready, and we'd lose our backyard for almost half a year, if not a little bit more. And so it did make it hard for the kids to play. I mean, they played among the haunted attraction, like within it, which they enjoyed, but at the same time, we didn't have our nice backyard. So when it got too big for the backyard, we had so many people coming out, because we were having hundreds of people come out, and it was just like, it didn't work. So we had to end up, I took the leap. I found a place in Lewistown. We are located inside of a basement now. It's not ideal. We would love to have our own building, or love to have something with a front, like what I call storefront, so we're more visible. But I mean, we love where we're at, and we love the community. They've been behind us all the way, which we couldn't be more grateful. There's many people we have to thank, the partners that have partnered with us, the people who still want to collab with us and work with us, the community who's been behind us, as this has been a learning opportunity for us too. We've been trying to learn what we can and cannot do, so that way we can show the community that we're there for them, because obviously we want to be part of that community. We're very, very philanthropic in our mentality, meaning usually our off-season events we will dedicate to a charity, and help raise either money or items. We've done blanket drives, clothes drives, money. We've done food drives, pet supplies and stuff. So, we definitely try to give back to the community that we're in, because we believe in that kind of thing, and we want to help people. Obviously we need money to continue to grow and be better and bigger, but we also believe in giving back, and that's what matters as well. So once again, I hope you learned a little bit about us, where we came from, and where we are today. Like I said, we've been doing this for 5 years now, and it's been amazing, going on 6 now, and I couldn't be happier with our actors, our staff, our management, and just being able to provide this show to the community each and every year. It's almost like a theater company. You know, you may not be sitting and watching, but you are a part of the show, and that's what it's all about. You're coming in, we're trying to envelop you, we're trying to make you feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm a part of this. That's where the anxiety tends to go up. That's where people start to panic, get scared, because now you're sort of living the horror movie that you watched at home. While there's still safety, because obviously we're not good at doing anything to you. We don't touch. I do make that clear. We're not a touch haunt, unless we do have an event where we have to do something because of the interactive nature. But usually in our haunt season, we don't touch. So you don't have to worry about anything like that. But the fact that we do get in your face, we do get close. Our job is to scare you and entertain you. So once again, if you get scared, we've done our job. If you pee your pants, we've done our job. Unfortunately, if you have a panic attack, we've done our job. Not that we want you to get to that point, but we've had people that just get so scared they panic because they feel that realness that a horror movie tries to provide but can't always do successfully, because we bring you into the movie. We make you a part of the movie. You're a part of what you watched on television or in a movie theater. So it's a little bit different of an aspect that we provide. So we hope to have you out. Our October season does start the first weekend in October. We run the whole way through November 1st, which is the final night. That's usually our blackout night, meaning it is complete darkness. You get one glow stick, and that's all you get to light your path. And that's one glow stick for the group, not for every person, for your entire group. So we usually don't let more than about 5-6 people in at a time, because the larger numbers tend to hurt your ability to enjoy the show. Which, once again, these are all different topics we'll talk about in the future, so I don't want to do too much in one video. We do want to break it up, but I did want to go ahead and just talk to you about that and make you aware that, hey, you know, there are different things we're going to tell you about and share with you to help make your experience, at least at Hidden Screams, hopefully at other ones, memorable. Because once again, we don't want to just teach you about us. We want to teach you about the haunted attraction industry and the greatness that's here. I mean, it's really a great place to be. We do believe in family, and we'll talk about that as well in the future. You'll probably hear me talk about the Chamber of Haunters. I am the current president, but I will be stepping down in July of 2025. As I've been there for 5 years, I founded it, and it's a chamber of commerce for the industry. Like I said, I'll be stepping down and someone will be taking over. Like I said, I mean, we are an industry of family and friendship, and we just believe in being that safe place for many people. So like I said, those are things, topics and things we'll talk about in the future. And like I said, we'll give you a tour of our attraction here here soon, so you can see. Like, so right now we are in the midst of tearing down our second attraction. We have 4 inside. They're what I call mini attractions. They're not big, but you go from one to the other. You start off in our first attraction, which I'm not going to say the names because we are changing the names, and I'll save that for another video because we're going to make that announcement online as well. But you do start off in the Manor, which is our first attraction. It does have a name to it. You go through that. You then get to the second area, which used to be Experimentus, which was my character's lab. Which is now getting changed to something else, which like I said, we'll announce here in the near future. Then you get to the third attraction, which also is having a name change, but it was the Chamber of Lost Souls, where the bad experiments were kept. And then lastly, the fourth area has been changed as well to Crosby's Hideaway, which is a brand new attraction we just announced here about a month or 2 ago, maybe a little bit farther back. But it's a really cool attraction. Has some really cool and neat features. But we tore out the second attraction to make a brand new one, and we are really excited to unveil that in October. It'll be amazing. We have all new sets, scenes, pathways, twists, turns that are meant to scare and terrify you. So like I said, we look forward to having you with us soon. Like I said, please watch for our other videos. Please like and subscribe to us. We'd love to have you follow us. Follow us on Facebook, Hidden Screams Haunted Attraction. Also look for us on Instagram and TikTok, Hidden Screams Haunt. And like I said, our website, which is hiddenscreams.com. or Hidden Screams HauntedAttraction.com. You can check us out. We are rebuilding a brand new website that provides a lot of information, our storylines, our characters, the backstories for our attractions, and so on and so forth. So if you want more information, check our website out and watch our Facebook page for any events. We do have some other cool events coming up, which we'll talk about in future videos, such as our prom, which is an adult prom. You can get tickets online at our website. That's 18 and up, ages 18 and up can attend. And it'll be from 6 to 9 p.m. on July 19th, 2025. So once again, we hope that many of you can attend. We do have it set for up to 50 people to attend. Tickets are $35 a person, $65 for couples. So once again, we hope to have you out with us. I hope you once again got a little taste of what we do, and what it's like to, once again, just a small taste of owning, operating a haunted attraction. It's not easy, but we do try our best to give you an amazing show, and we hope to be able to talk more about that in the future. Please, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at hiddenscreams@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you and answer any further questions. You can always reach out to us on Facebook and private message us if there's any topics or things you want to know more about as far as Hidden Screams or just about the industry in general. We'd love to share that with you. And like I said, while we're not looking to give you all the secrets, we'd love to let you just understand what it is that we do. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day, and we will see you again in the future. Bye.